Cheers. Hello, Doug. How you doing?
Good, man. Cheers to you.
Welcome to our first edition of
Meet My Friends. And then we have our first glitch on the very first moment. So Greg is frozen up here for a moment. So
Meet My Friend. I can still hear you. This is time for a disclaimer. I don't know if you know we're as we take this live, we are in the middle of our global pandemic. And what I actually got a note from StreamYard that said that everybody is lowering internet.
Yeah, they're buffering and stuff.
Yeah, so I just had a problem there. So they're actually saying, hey, man, it's really not us.
Yeah.
So it's maybe your ISP or maybe where you're delivering it to. So if we have issues, people, we're sorry, but today we're starting a new segment called Meet My Friends. It's an old segment that I have before, but we're going to do it live with Doug now. Everybody's here. Everybody's at home generally, hopefully, during this pandemic, and we get to interview people. And I really want to bring in. We're going to bring in my friend Allo here, but he has a campaign that he's working on where he's trying to bring awareness to what's going on with the breweries as far as what they're up to during this pandemic, how they're surviving, and accenting different stories through that called hashtag Drink the Story. And we are going to be doing, Doug, as you already know, we're going to be doing a series of live shows with some breweries in my area and hopefully your area. And we're going to hopefully bring some more people in to talk about how brewers are working through this, crazy time of ours.
Yeah.
So before we even get there, we have a couple comments.
All right, Daniel. Which one?
Right. I pick one. I blame Doug for my shave. It was his fault. I saw he did it, and I just jumped on. But anyway, without further ado, I need to bring my friend Allo Gilinsky on. I met him at Beer Bloggers Conference, which is one of the best. It is the best beer blogger conference. There's no other one. It's the best by default, but it's also the best because the best people there. It's great. We've had a bunch of people on that I've met there. Whether it be Rita, whether it be Dan Boobian. It goes on and on. Daniel Fisher. So anyway, let's bring Allo on so Allo can talk and I can shut up. Hello, Allo.
Hey guys, how's it going? Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. So Allo, let's jump in real quick here. Tell everybody who you are and what you're doing with this hashtag campaign. Please.
So my name is Allo Gilinsky, or as my kind of blog name goes, the Craft Beer Concierge. It's a great blog way for me to kind of explore the world of craft beer, make it approachable for people, share craft beer stories that I like and itineraries of places that I have drank some fantastic craft beer. Recently, with the pandemic going on and I have time at home because I was unfortunately laid off from my brewery-related job, I wanted to do something really positive. I didn't want to do something that focused on, how is this affecting you right now? What are you going through? But I wanted to try to use this phrase that I created about 2 months ago, Drink the Story, which I had pledged in a recent blog post to use more of this year, to bring awareness to the fact that breweries have unique meanings to their communities, to each person in that community, and try to spread the love through the Drink the Story hashtag as much as possible.
Excellent. So where does that how does that look, or what tell me more about the hashtag and then what you're trying to do with it.
Using kind of my network, you guys at Beer Now, the Beer Bloggers Conference, everybody else I have in my social media network, craft beer bloggers, Instagrammers, people who just like to be social media active, and just beer fans alike. I tried to reach out to some people and say, hey, would you get behind this? Would you write either a story or a few sentences on Facebook or post a picture of you and your friends at that brewery where you have a Drink the Story moment at? A place that you have gone to trivia for the last, 3 years or couple of months, and it's a routine for you, or a place where you have a connection with the owners, and just get engaged. Use that hashtag, spread the love, and then when we're all able to go back, when the economy opens back up, make a pledge, make a call to action to go back to that brewery or those breweries and support them. Talk to the owners then, see how they were affected, see what else is coming down the pipeline. So it's a twofold kind of campaign. I put a story up on my blog yesterday about the 3 local breweries in my small town in Northern California, Sebastopol, that have been affected not only by this pandemic, but also by, unfortunately, in the last year, a fire and floods. So kind of there's been 3 strikes, as I say, and they're still not out. They're still going strong, but you never know. And that's why I think it's important to direct attention to those places as soon as possible.
So this isn't limited to just beer bloggers, right?
No, it's everybody. I want to get this spread as far and wide as possible. If you like to be on social media, even if you don't like to be on social media, join in. Everybody has a picture of them with friends at a beer bar, a tap room, a brewery, or a story about the time they went and picked up this beer that blew their mind, or they got great customer service. Most people have that story, and I encourage you all to share it using the Drink the Story hashtag. If you're a blogger, write a post, write a series of posts. I have another post coming down the pipeline about another beer community in Portsmouth, New Hampshire that's really important to me. So it's just bringing awareness to anybody and everybody that wants to join in.
And as I said before, we got you on. We're doing, Doug and I are looking to do a whole series of Drink the Story.
Mm-hmm.
We're vloggers, so we're just going to go live and bring some breweries on hopefully here. I don't want to name drop any of them, but you guys know my favorites, so I'm working on them already. Doug, do you have any follow-up questions?
I was wondering, since now we're in this little pandemic thing with the little pandemic, I made that very lighthearted there. It's very serious, so don't take that. What about, can you use that? I imagine you could use that hashtag if you're just trying to share beer from one of your local breweries, so that you could say, hey, I wish I could be there, or things of that ilk, like where you're like, I'm drinking beer from this brewery because I can't be there. I've seen people do like photos of them using Zoom where they're doing the
virtual happy hours
virtual happy hours.
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't have to be limited to actually creating a story around it, but you're drinking the story of that brewery. For example, right now I'm drinking one of the breweries in Sebastopol, Wood 4, one of the breweries that I am pledging to support during this time. I have a can of their Berliner Weiss. It's a 3.8%, fantastic beer made with mostly local ingredients that I want to be able to go out and support them while doing. There you go, Wood 4 Brewing. They're delivering. A lot of these breweries in my community are either delivering or doing curbside pickup. And that's a way to still reach out to the consumer, let people know, hey, we're still here. We have great beer. Come and get it from us. Or if you can't come and get it, we'll bring it to you.
Pretty tap room. Really nice.
It's gorgeous. It's modeled kind of like a German beer hall. Wood 4 focuses on a lot of local ingredients. They put fresh local peaches in their beer. They have a little in-house kitchen that makes upscale bar food, nachos, corn dogs, cheese curds. So it's a really great place. And I went down there the other day, and the owner himself, the co-owner, I should say, handpicked me a 4-pack of their beer.
That's nice.
And where exactly are they located?
They're in the Barlow district. It's a center in Sebastopol. It's kind of an artisan center for some shops, coffee roasters, a couple little kitchens, whatnot, and then these 3 breweries and a distillery. I'm in Sebastopol, California, just about an hour and a half north of San Francisco, basically, up in Sonoma County.
Very nice, very nice. So for today, we all picked. Well, you have 3 that you're accenting, so you already hit one, and Doug and I have one that we're going to share. Doug, would you like to share yours now?
Yeah, so I just grabbed one that from my fridge that you brought me, which I've never had. It's a German beer called Turbo Prop Imperial Pils. I didn't have any of my local brewery stuff present because I was not smart and got stuff beforehand. So this one is.
I'm sorry. That? Who was your brewery for Share to Drink?
Oh, for sharing a drink?
I'm sorry, I asked the wrong one.
Well, something that I'm going to talk about we talked about when you were here is I don't have it. I wish I did. I wish we would have got some, was the wheat wine we had over at Farmstead Brewery, which is in Owego, New York. It's about 20 miles from here. That was
brewery.
Yeah. And it was like you were talking about with the other ones, where this one is because it's a Farmhouse Brewery. So they don't have a lot of IPAs because they're trying to source everything locally and hopefully from their own farm. But the wheat wine they had there was like, what was it, Craig? It was like 11%. And man, that thing drank like it was a Pilsner. It was so
great. Dangerously good.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
It was amazing. Right. The Farmhouse Brewery, right? Yeah, here we go. Let me bring this up here. The Farmhouse Brewery was one of my favorite ones, if not my favorite one when I saw you, Doug. They're fantastic. They are absolutely fantastic.
Well, from ground to glass. You see like grain to glass, but from ground to glass. That's a cool slogan.
Yeah, because they did their beet beer. Remember the beet beer we had there, Greg? That was excellent. Yeah, so it's pretty excellent.
Any idea what they're doing now?
They're doing takeout, like a pickup kind of thing. Because they're in Owego, which is kind of a really small town and is not really close to much anything else. It's kind of hard for them to deliver, unless I imagine they might deliver in Owego. I don't know that for a fact, but I know that they have. You can come pick beer up from them.
Right.
And I think it's just cans because you can't really do. I've seen some breweries do growlers, which I don't think is really a great idea right now.
Right.
Oh, I haven't seen any.
I've seen that. I've seen a few of them that do that. I think you got to stick with the growlers and the cans and the bottles, which I think is what they're doing.
Wow. All right. Excellent. Now, so Allo, how long is this is something that we want to take after?
So right now I'm introducing kind of the hashtag, getting people to start using it, proposing their stories, their ideas, kind of just coming together as a community. I have that Facebook group you're both part of, the Drink the Story campaign kind of support group for all of us to share ideas, share what we're doing, share anybody who's welcome to join. And then whenever all this is back to normal, you can't put a timestamp on this right now, but when these breweries, when the economy's back open and we can go sit physically in these breweries and share a pint with the employees, with the owners, with our friends, with the locals who go to these places, you're still using that hashtag then. You're still drinking the story because now you're going back. It's the second part of the pledge to the campaign is you're supporting them now and you're going to support them when they're back open.
Excellent. And I'm going to get to mine right now. My brewery today that I want to access is called Octopi Brewing. They are probably the closest brewery to my house. It's close between them and Carbon 4. But they're very, very close. They do. If you probably don't know them from Octopi, but you probably know them from Untitled Art. They do Untitled Art. That's a collaboration with them with another local brewery we have here, the Funk Factory, Levi Funk. So those guys, they do a collaboration Untitled Art. And they do their own house beers. They are contract brewer, so they do a lot of brewing for other people. Some of the breweries, they let us know. Some of them they don't. But as you see here, what I'm really excited about what they're doing is they're doing no contact pickup, curbside pickup. So you can go, you order online here, you pick a time, you show up at that time, you pick up your beer, you roll, and that's how they're doing it. And I had a bunch of beer bloggers come to Madison last spring, and we went to pretty much every Madison brewery that's a big one, and they absolutely loved Octopi. I don't know anybody from Octopi. I know some people, but I don't know anybody big there. So Doug and I probably won't have anybody on from Octopi, so that's why I am featuring them today. So
boo that they're not going to be on, not boo for Octopi.
Well, never say never. I do know some people. I just don't. They're just not high on my list. So they're one of the first ones that I picked. Again, because we had Mari on from Carbon 4. What was it, 2 weeks ago, Doug? And we could have her on again.
Yeah.
If she would like, that would be great for her to talk about Carbon 4 in this aspect. Talk about her Carbon 4, but look at that, man. He's got that pandemic sneeze. I mean, he got
that by now. It's horrible allergy season up here too, and that's one of those things where people look at you weirdly if you're sneezing in public. It's just allergies, man. You can't help it.
Right. Remember when?
Luckily, we're not all in public, or I'm not in public right now, or much.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it's funny. I saw the memes have been going crazy, but one of the funniest memes was like everybody used to be worried about farting in public. Now you're worried about.
Now it's coughing about public. Yeah.
right.
But people are farting to cover up their coughs.
Yeah. So here's another one that Octopi was phenomenal.
Right on.
A lot of people love everything they do. They're doing great. They're one of the biggest ones around here. And thanks for whoever the Facebook user is. Thank you. I can't see your name.
That was Rita.
Rita. Hey, Rita.
Rita.
But one of the things about Octopi too is they have the most advanced brewing system in Dane County, which is basically Madison. From the last time I checked, I mean, they were literally brewing from an iPad. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was just crazy. So, right, it's like really.
They have 8 different hands and arms.
Right. So
8 iPads.
I'm not sure who said that because again we can't see, but it's somebody in the group.
People try to mix in a French. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I've been called Vera. I've been told I need to marry a girl named Vera. I've heard all the jokes about my name, but I embrace them because I embrace the name.
So I think this is Paige.
That was Ryan Darcy, by the way.
Oh, excellent!
I don't know Ryan, but cheers to you, Ryan.
Cheers, Ryan. Excellent. Wonderful. So yeah. So we reached we talked about everybody. Allo, you mentioned 3 breweries. You only talked about one. So let's get the other one.
So the other 2, one is Seismic. They're the newest addition to the Barlow district. They opened up last summer. They focus a lot on German style beers and then dark beers. They have a very cool open space tap room, and they have been around in the community doing, canning and whatnot. They've gotten beers out to market, but they just opened their tap room last summer. They've been production brewing for a couple years before that. Liquefaction is a great summer style. I call it the crushable coal, so you can drink it. Not that I ever have. Of course.
Great language.
I fucking love a Kolsch. Damn, I love a
fantastic. And the other one is going to be Crooked Goat. They've been around since 2016 in the Barlow, and they're basically a huge community hub. They do a lot of parties. They do bingo nights. They do little patio music parties. They're famous for their Ibex. It's a West Coast IPA. They do great IPAs. They're pet friendly and encourage pets to come in. And so they're a really great community hub. And all these places within a 2-minute, if that, walk from each other. So
nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so they're all right in this little district. It's like, it's a couple, 100,000 square feet district that houses different stores and little shops. And these are all right down one kind of row from another.
Yeah.
So in Crooked Goat's doing something really cool. Not only they're doing curbside pickup, but they're doing drive-through pickup. You don't even have to leave your car. You can just call an hour ahead, order your crowlers, go in and pick them up. There's a little line, like a drive-through, like at a fast food place. You just line your car right up there. You'll give them your name. You've already pre-ordered. You've bought your cans over the phone, and they'll come right out with them.
Nice.
And what's Seismic doing?
Seismic is doing curbside pickup. Woodford's doing in-tap room pickup. Seismic's doing curbside pickup. And Crooked Goat's doing curbside drive-through or walk-through pickup.
Man.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, again, this is a good. There are silver lining things here going on with our pandemic, and one of them is you see the adversity and adversity. You see what it's making some breweries do.
Right.
Now, what I want to see is them keep a lot of these systems in place. I want to see drive-through. I want to be able to. Again, sometimes I, think about it though. Again, it's funny because we're now all staying at home.
Right.
But normal American lifestyle says that I don't have time to stop in your brewery. So I need the curbside.
Sure.
And I need to, I need to order it. Or, Doug's coming over my house on Friday. I got like 10 minutes between I leave work and I get home. And I need like 2 cases of beer.
Pick up the beer.
Right. I need 2 cases of beer because Doug drinks a lot of these damn stouts. Holy shit. So like, yeah, right.
That's where my biases come in.
or walk up. You see some breweries doing walk up now, which is like, like phenomenal. I mean, you can walk up and get an ice cream cone. Why can't I walk up and get a 6-pack and be done? Again, sometimes I'm not ready to go into the brewery, and sometimes I'm persuaded, me personally, if it's like Friday night and it's busy and I have to fight like the bar to get some beer, I'll probably go up to the supermarket and then I may not buy that beer from that brewery. What do you got for me, Allo?
What do I got for you?
Yeah, well, what do you think about the whole question about as far
I
as
got nothing but love for you, Greg.
Oh.
No, I think it's going to be real interesting how everything gets back, or if it gets back to what it was before, if there are tweaks made. I mean, on a completely different tangent other than beer, I think work from home is going to become a very new normal, even when people are allowed to return to workplaces. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, say, I know that Crooked Goat, for example, they made a call out for saying, we're limiting our crowlers now because we didn't expect this to happen. We don't have crowlers. We have some on order, so you're limited to 3 crowlers now. But say they order 3,000 crowlers. They don't go through those.
You're limited to 3 crowlers. Wow.
Well, we're a 7,500 person town up here. We're a small community. And so, but say they order 10,000 or 100,000 crowlers, and then this wraps up sooner than expected, which will be everybody would love to hear happen. Yeah. But then they have all these crowlers. Maybe they still don't. Maybe they adjust to doing something now. They have all these crowlers. They got to use them. You never know. Mm-hmm. I don't think having too much supply is a bad thing. It'll be interesting to see, though, if and how and when this goes on longer, if breweries are going to have to stop.
Well, yeah. Real quick, and then I'll go to you, Doug. One of the breweries that I'm going to absolutely hopefully feature, they just shut down. So like some shut down, some are trying to sustain. Sure. Some are. I mean, it's just all over the place. What's going on? I don't know. I want you to do what you can do, so I can see you on the other side. That's how I see it. So whatever you have to do to deal, do it. So Doug, you have interesting. You have any comments on this whole? How breweries are doing different things, and is it going to go in the future and all that?
Well, I think considering the how we're now readily accepting people who are introverts and understanding that social gatherings are kind of a worrisome thing for them and very anxiety-ridden. So I'm hopeful that like this curbside pickup, the drive-through, like things like that are still available. Now, I still want to have the tap room. I'm an extrovert. I want to go in and talk to people. But there are people that's a real problem for them. So this is maybe an inroad for that to take foot a little more. I think that would be pretty good.
Sure.
I absolutely want them to keep a lot of these things. Again, think about it. Like, a lot of these breweries are new. Like, I just hope the thinking goes into like, yes, we can, we're making a new brewery. Yes, we can have a curbside pickup, or yes, we can have a window where people can walk up, or, right next to, where everything else is, I just hope it goes forward.
Devil's advocate moment I'm thinking about here is a lot of these might have been coming to terms because the liquor laws or beer laws have been relaxed now in certain states and certain counties and certain towns. Yeah. If those are tightened back up, are things like curbside pickup a direct facet of beer sale laws getting lax? Are those laws going to stay lax, which in turn would let these breweries continue those options? That's the other part of it, because you have to think that these aren't just direct, like, if curbside pickup was allowed before something like this, why not have this be an option 5 years ago or 2 years ago or 6 months ago?
Well, the other part of it is maybe that people didn't want the curbside option because you wanted to drive traffic into your brewery.
Sure.
Makes sense. It makes sense. It's just maybe it's something where they can do both.
Right. But again, though, as you said, Doug, about the alternative, which is introverts, you make a very good point about, maybe you're sectioning off a section where you may not get any of that money if you're not offering alternatives for people, again, when they don't feel like hanging out. I mean, and everybody knows I like to hang out, but sometimes I don't. So Allo, we got through your hashtag campaign, and no disrespect to that, that's not really what I want to talk about here, though. Sorry.
What do you want to talk about, Greg? What's burning on your mind?
I do it, and we're going to do. And again, Doug and I are hopefully going to do a whole series where we get a whole lot of word out, and it's going to be fantastic. But I want to talk about Pliny, man. I've waited 23 minutes to talk about Pliny.
I'm surprised you lasted this long, Greg.
I know 23 minutes in and counting. He didn't bring up Pliny once. That's off control.
But Pliny, for me, and I've had it. Shout out to David Rogers, who was one of the first people to get it to me. I've had it. It's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. And it's just an OG. That's the thing about it. And I think all craft brewers should make, some kind of a trip to make sure that you get the Russian River, especially during the Pliny time. So this is your first year there, right?
Yep, my first 6 months. I've been at Russian River. I have a new facility up in Windsor. They've been dealing and wheeling at their Santa Rosa brew pub since 2004. Great place for pizza. They're still brewing down there on a 20-barrel system. Their Windsor facility opened up October of 2018, and I've been there since the end of September 2019. So I'm still in my infancy. I'm still in my 6-month trial run there. I hope I can get back to work soon, but that's up to everything else.
Yeah.
But so what is before we get to the Pliny stuff? What is Russian River doing now? What is your brewery stance, or what are you guys up to?
So we're still producing beer. You can still legally, we're considered an essential business, wineries, breweries, production. So they have a very small skeleton team, including the owners themselves, Vinny and Natalie, are there pushing out beer in bottles. No bars and restaurants are open, so we're not kegging. Our gift shop up in Windsor staying open limited hours through the week, 12 to 6 p.m., I believe, for bottle and merch sales. And our Santa Rosa downtown brew pub is open for pizza, food takeaway, and beer takeaway as well. But our kitchen up in Windsor, the tours, I'm a tour guide up at Windsor, so our tour facility is obviously shut down because can't maintain 6 feet away from people while giving a tour. So that's on hiatus until at least the end of April. But yeah, we're still producing beer. We're still giving beer to go, and we're supporting the community as best we can.
Doug?
Yeah, I've never had Pliny. So I'm just like,
I'm glad I'm not sitting here drinking one in front of you. That's all I'll say.
Well, I appreciate that because I would be crying.
And it's interesting though, because Doug, I don't know if you know Allo or how many shows you've seen, but Doug's not a, he's not a big IPA guy. So I think Doug.
That's the thing. I will try anything.
Sure. Right. You're an equal opportunist like me.
Equal opportunist. Yeah. So normally when I roll up to Russian River, before I get to the whole Pliny stuff, do you guys do crowlers and growlers?
Growlers. No crowlers.
Okay.
We haven't canned. We recently started doing a trial run of canning with a mobile canning company in Sacramento, but we haven't really done canning up until the holiday season of this past year. All of our bottles are those 16.9 ounce nostalgic bottles that you see out there, and then our sour, funky Belgian beers are all put in 12-ounce bottles.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't know. One thing I do hear about Russian River is that, like, when you go there, everybody, not everybody goes for Pliny, but there's an R around Pliny, but once you go there and you try all the other styles that you guys are doing, I hear it's just fantastic. So
and we do a flight with all the styles, and so if we have 15 beers on the board, if we have 23 beers on the board, we'll do a flight with all of those beers if you'd like.
Man, so explain. So was the whole Pliny thing, like, how does your perspective as a person who's in the craft beer industry, and you knew all about it, working behind the scenes now and seeing all that Pliny, how was your perspective?
I just have to make sure I'm distinguishing so I know to talk about the right thing. You're talking about Pliny the elder or younger, or both?
I'm talking about the younger, which is.
Oh, you're talking about the younger. Okay.
The younger, which is it brings people. You can only get
triple IPA. Cool. Because Pliny the elder's been around since late 90s, early 2000s, and I just want to make sure I'm focusing on the right Pliny. The younger came on the scene later on.
Right. No, make sure. All right. So I'm talking about the younger, which is you have to literally be around, or you have to be
waiting around for lines that are from 4 to 9 hours for 2 weeks straight in February.
Right. So how did that? Was it crazier or less crazier than you thought of it?
I'd never even growing up in this area, I wasn't a huge craft beer fan until I left the area, so I'd never even experienced Pliny the Younger from a consumer standpoint.
Right.
I had it once down in San Diego last year, but I'd never waited in the line. I never even went to Russian River for the first time until 2015, 16, I don't think. So it was great. It was crazy, but it was great. It was a powerhouse 2 weeks. We call it our Super Bowl, where everybody just shows up to work, you do your thing, and you push through it. And everybody who comes and waits in that line, 98% of them are just super happy to have had the experience. You give them the taste of Pliny on tap during the tour. So if you don't want to wait in line, or if you are waiting in line and you want to kill an hour, you can come on the tour and you get a little taste of that beer during the tour. You have to pay $15 for it. You have to listen to me talk for an hour, which I know may be tough for some people.
We're working on it.
We're halfway there, man.
So yeah, it's just a great experience. It was really fun to be a part of. I was exhausted, but it's all adrenaline at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So Doug, I'll jump in. You get the next question, buddy. But can you tell me the process? So like, if Doug and I want to roll up and do this, tell us, like, is there a line? Is there?
You sound so California casual. Just roll up and do this. You got to get there. I mean, it depends when you want to get there. As I said, this year in Windsor, we faced anywhere from 4 to 9 hour lines.
Holy crap!
Daily.
I'm not a line guy, Allo. What do I do?
You come on the tour and you get one taste of it, but you don't get access to the brew pub.
Okay.
The whole experience is you line up, you get seated in the brew pub. That's where there's nobody 3 deep at the bar standing waiting for a drink. It's all a seated experience where you get your 3 tastes of Pliny over the course of 3 hours, and then you leave. But as I said, I mean, we open the doors to the brew pub at 11. If you want to get there at 6, that means you're standing in line for at least 5 hours till they open, even if you're in that first group in. If you come at 11 and there's a line 4 hours long, that means you don't get in until 3, but you're not there at 6 a.m. So it depends on what you're in the mood for.
can I drink in line?
No. Open containers, public consumption. Or, Greg, come to California during the month of February. Usually the last week of Pliny, we'll start shipping out, or before the last week of Pliny, we'll have shipped out kegs to various accounts. Then you go to that beer bar that says they have a 1 keg of Pliny the Younger, and you get it there. But if you're going to come all this way to see me, you may as well line up for the beer. Or sorry, if you're going to come all this way for the beer, you may as well see me. I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Right. Yeah, I'm with the tour. Doug, you got a question?
No, I was going to say that's, hey, both of those are applicable. I want to do both.
I'm here. You can make it. I mean, people plan their 2 weeks off work around this event. We do an economic impact report every year. And there was something like last year, Pliny the Younger brought nearly $4 million to Sonoma County tourism. People came from 17 different countries to drink the beer.
Wow.
Right.
So it's an event.
Right. And again, I've had it, but I kind of want to, do the whole thing. Mine is 6 hours in line, so I got to figure something out.
Bring card and coffee.
Yeah, what'd you say, Doug?
Bring your Nintendo Switch.
Right. I'll have to do something, man. I'm not a line guy, but again, just for the whole experience, I don't know. And I understand you can't be having people drink in line. I just want it. It doesn't make it right.
If you got a coffee cup in your hand,
I like that was my thought.
I'm not sure. The security guards that I know and love so well won't be checking.
Yeah.
All right, Allo. It was excellent having you on live. So do you want to wrap it up here in case people jumped in late? Can you give a quick summary about your hashtag? Hashtag?
I don't have a hashtag. I'm from California, but I don't have a hashtag.
Not yet.
That's the point. Pull it out of my back pocket here after I get offline with you guys.
So sum it up for the boo here.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Greg. Drink the story. That's what I'm encouraging everybody to do over the next couple months, especially these first few weeks when the breweries really need our support. I'm worried about the amount of breweries locally and globally that are going to make it out the other end of this. So get out. Don't get out there, but get out there social media wise. Get out there within your community. Promote breweries that you love, places that are dear to your heart or your community's heart, and just share the heck out of them on social media. Drink their story in. Tell them on a social media post, tag them, say, hey, we're coming back here in 2 months or 3 months when we can come back here again. We'd love to have a beer with you at the brewery, to the owners, or, people. You just talk about your places. Talk about the places that mean something to you.
Allo, where can we find you online?
I'm on social media at Craft Beer Concierge on Instagram. I'm the Craft Beer Concierge on Facebook, and my blog is www.thecraftbeerconcierge.com. So my blog is up, and if you want to find me personally on Facebook, you got my first name, and there aren't a whole lot of Allos out there, so have at it.
Anyone in the Daddy Porter Beer Group or anybody associated with me, post it on any of mine, and I'll make sure Allo gets it. Allo, are you collecting these stories in a? I'd love you to all post them in that group I have. It's the Drink the Story Campaign Facebook group. And everybody's allowed to join?
Everybody's allowed to join. Please, anybody and everybody, invite your friends, invite your enemies. We take all types on that group, and we can collaborate and share our stories, or collaborate, as I like to say, and post everything in one central place, and then I can sift through it and post them on my social media channels as well. Like Paige the other day or yesterday, she introduced her Shell's Brewing Drink the Story post, and I reposted that on Instagram story and said, hey, go check out Paige. So
didn't see that yet. Okay.
Come on, Greg.
Love Shell and love Paige, so it's great.
There you go. So thank you guys so much for letting me share my story of Drink the Story with you guys. I really appreciate it. And cheers.
Cheers, man.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Doug, you have anything else?
No, man, this has been great to have another way to support local breweries. I think that's super important to promote and support the local businesses that you have there near and dear to you, and regardless of what they are. But, breweries are a hospitality business, so it's really important to support them.
And I'm a hospitality industry worker for 15 years and work in a brewery, and I've been affected. So I'm trying to do something positive to keep not only my positivity afloat, but everybody else's as well.
Yeah. And to make clear, Allo's just not talking about breweries. He's also talking about beer bars. He's also talking about tomorrow night we're going to have Garth Garth Beer Brew Bar from Madison. So he's talking about that too. So Drink the Story can go to,
and it can go to wine. It doesn't have to be beer. You can drink the story of your local spot, distillery. You're drinking something, coffee roaster. Drink their story. Anything that's drinkable, Capri Sun. If you want to drink the story of Capri Sun, drink the story of Capri Sun. Make sure it's a locally sourced Capri Sun.
Yes.
That might be hard to find.
It might. I'm sure somebody out there is going to do some digging after they hear me say that. Probably myself, but.
But the key is local too, and that comes back to
drink local, drink the story, support local, support small.
Yep.
As I'm enthusiastically banging my beer can down on the table
and those were principles before the pandemic. So
and they're even more important principles now.
Yep. Absolutely. Allo, thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, come back on in a couple months and tell us what's going on.
I will. Take it easy.
Cheers.
Later.
Cheers.
So that was fun.
Yeah, man. It's he's an energetic guy. I love that guy.
Yeah, man. Like again, the first time I met him,
I want that somebody's super excited and really into it, and that's really great. And his idea of just here's a way we can try to help local breweries and local, like you said, even coffee houses and things like that, small businesses, local things that are important to us, just to try to help them, kind of navigate this this crazy ass time where we're not sure when everything's going to go back to whatever normal is. So yeah, it's great. I'm glad he's doing it, and we should all start participating in that. I think. Drink
the glass. So when I get off here, you're gonna make me some of that French press that you made me when I was back there. It was amazing.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it?
I should have took you up on breakfast so that morning I left, but that's another story.
What's that?
I should have took you up on breakfast that morning I left.
Yeah, and then you left and you went to a diner right down the road, which I was like, man, I was making breakfast.
Yeah, but we already went through this. I would have probably stayed the whole day and just like.
Yeah, you just wanted to get on the road.
Right. I was like, I need to get on the road or I'm gonna. Yeah. So Doug, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
we
man.
have Garth from Garth's Brew Bar. I always want to call it beer bar, but it's brew bar. And he was named the best the best craft beer bar in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, wow, not just Madison, right?
Yeah, not just Madison, Wisconsin, from craftbeer.com. That's going to be fun to see how he built that and what the hell is he doing now.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
You too, man.
See you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Thanks, Allo. That was awesome.
Yep.
I always miss this end broadcast thing.
Let's edit that out.
Right. No, man, that's live. You got to keep it live. Stop.